Hey folks, it's Andy at themortalguitarist.com. Welcome and thank you for joining me. Right, we're going to take a look at modes this time out. I think that modes probably causes more confusion than just about anything else with people who are trying to get their heads wrapped around music theory. Now, part of the reason for that is that there are 1001 videos, books, magazine articles and so on that promise to make modes simple for you. And the basic fact of it is that modes are really not that complicated to start off with. If we take it in small bite-sized chunks, you find out that they're really no more scary than he is to get your head round. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to make a small set of videos about modes. And in this one, we're going to look at the very basics of what a mode is in the general term. And then we are going to look next time out perhaps at the common modes of the major scale, which are the ones that most of us are aware of. We'll look at the different ways that it's worthwhile learning modes, and we'll then take a look at a few of the things that you can do with them once you've actually gone to all this trouble to understand and learn them. So what is a mode in the first place? It is worth understanding a few basics before we worry too much about modes. And one of those basics is keys, another one is interval patterns, and another one is the major scale. And if any of those things leave you scratching your head, maybe pop out this video and go and have a look at the Mortal Guitarist Theory series. There are videos covering each of those from very, very basic steps. Just to recap, a key is the thing that tells you the basic set of notes that a piece of music is working with. They're not the only notes you're allowed to use, but they are sort of the basic building blocks of the piece of music. So that's defined by the key. A scale takes the notes, or some of the notes in some cases, doesn't have to be all of them, and puts them in an order with an interval pattern. So if you're working, say, in a key of C major, which is nice and easy because it's got no sharps and flats, and you build a C major scale, then you get the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then they repeat C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and so on. You get them in order, and if you write them down, grab a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, and write down those notes, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then underneath, write down the intervals in between the notes, and you'll find that there are some whole note intervals and some half note intervals, also known as tones and semitones. And the interval pattern tells you what kind of scale you've got, and the note it starts on tells you what version of that scale it is. So a C major scale will start on a C, and it will have an interval pattern of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. And any other major scale that you start on any other note will still have that tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone pattern. So write that down and put a number one next to it. That is the first mode number one of C major. Now, here's the interesting thing. If you take the same notes, but you start on the second note of that C major scale, so a D, you get D, E, F, G, A, B, C. It's the same notes, but if you write those down and then do the same trick and actually write the intervals underneath them, you'll find that you get a different pattern of intervals. Start on the third note and you get a different pattern of intervals. So those different patterns of intervals, you get one for each note of the scale because you can start each time on a different note. So a major scale has got 7 notes in it, so you get 7 modes. And just for the moment, bear with me, I'm just going to call them mode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 because it makes life easy. Now, that's not true only for major scales. If you have a pentatonic scale, so you've got 5 notes, you get 5 modes. If you make up a scale that's got 2 notes, you get 2 modes. 20 notes, you get 20 modes, and so on. And the patterns identify the kind of mode you've got. So you'll hear the names of modes. You'll hear about the Ionian, the Dorian, the Phrygian, the Lydian, the Mixolydian, the Aeolian, and the Locrian. And these are the names which are used for the modes of the major scale, and are probably the ones that most people hear about most of the time. If you want to get down into the nitty gritty of this, get online, go over to Wikipedia, and have a look at the musical modes page there. It's got more detail in it than most of us will ever need in a lifetime. But for just getting on and understanding and actually making music today, let's just stick for the moment with the concept that modes are what happen when you take a scale and you take the pattern, the step pattern of that scale from each different note in it. Right, that tells you what a mode is. How is a mode different to a scale? Well, actually, in reality, once you've got it, it isn't any different to a scale. The different patterns give you different feels, they give you different flavorings, and you can apply them, you can think of them really simply as just a set of different scale shapes that you can apply in any key you want to get the kind of sound that you're looking for. So keep life simple for the moment. Take a scale, take the step pattern from any degree of that scale, and you get modes, and then just treat the modes as something, play through them and see what sounds good over the chord progression you're working with. Next time out, we are going to look at the actual names and how they're built up of the modes of the major scale, because that's what most of us are reading about most of the time when we're reading about modes. After that, we're going to look at the different ways to learn these things. And the thing about modes is that you can kind of look at them in several different ways, and each different way you look at them actually makes them useful in a different sort of application. So we'll cover that in a separate video, and then maybe just a few hints about once you've gone through all this work to actually learn them, get them under your fingers, get them into your head, about what on earth you actually do with them when you're making music. So there you go. Hope that's of some use. Hopefully nice and simple, nice and clear. Any comments, any questions, stick them down below. Go over to my Facebook page, details for that are down below. Happily answer any of it. Click the subscribe button if you'd be so kind. It all helps. And I will see you in the next video. This is Andy. This is the Mortal Guitarist. Take care. Bye now.